Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles! In the last part, we had a lot going on. We kind of discovered that there is something very fishy about this omnibus that is in court right here, right now. And we were obliged to, we now have the duty to examine it thoroughly and see what is so odd about this bus. And before I started recording, I went back to my room and I sat there and I thought about what things are very, very fishy about this. And I really don't know, but when I thought about it, I came to the conclusion that the blood splatter on the floor of this bus wasn't there. But I'm not actually sure, but I'm gonna go with that for the time being, because I'm gonna have a little look around, but I'm thinking that the blood splatter on the bottom of the on the floor of the bus is the thing to go with. So where exactly is the alleged mark that you claim appeared at some point during trial? Well, okay, so because when we first looked at the bus, we saw this blood splatter. I'm pretty sure of that. But this wasn't there. So that is very, very fishy. Nothing else comes to mind if you ask me. So I'm actually just gonna go with this. If we consider that the victim fell through the sky... Oh, it seems to be correct! Okay, cool! Onto the floor of the cabin. You would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this bloodstain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. I was right. Cool. Good lord. Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel. Well said. Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue. I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine, or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake.
This trial is over.
Mr. McGilded?
I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but it's all over now.
But you're the defendant!
'Tis over, I tell ye. Memory, recollection, what people think they saw. It is all nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is that bloodstain is there now.
Well...
And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it has been, that good-for-nothing reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought better of Lord Van Zix. Well, my lord?
I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence. And in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue. Your lordship can't be serious! Lord Van Ziegs, what is your position? The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present. Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first. What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilded would be found not guilty. Yes, which would mean we've won. Is that really right? Really the right outcome here? Is it really all right for the trial to come to an end now, with all these unexplained inconsistencies? Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please. Yes, my lord. The defense believes... Oh, this is a harsh one. But I don't believe that he's innocent. Why would he tamper with evidence if he were? So, I'm actually going with the defendant could be guilty. I'm here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGilded. However, at this moment in time, I cannot, in all good conscience, attest fully to the defendant's innocence. What are you saying, man? Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there is also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent. Good gracious me! Order, order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused's innocence into question. Are you of sound mind?
Oh, it was a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was. A grand decision.
What?
I must say I didn't expect quite such an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still. Here, have this for your troubles. Your job here is done, fella. And some fine work you've done, so you have.
What do you mean?
'Tis just as the right honorable gentleman so succinctly put it afore. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did he put it now? Nothing more than a formality. Yeah.
I really don't know what to make of all this.
Was the evidence we've seen genuine? Or was it fake?
His lordship would be funny, fuming, any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as I said.
The stinking rich are always guilty of something. Yeah, mark my words. I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us the lovely book.
Now that proceedings have unfolded in this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea.
I thank you kindly, my lord.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection!
But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth. Lord Van Zieks. My lord. The case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place. My sincerest apologies, my lord.
Objection!
But wait! When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zieks ordered the evidence to be secured! I am afraid of the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter. That's so unfair! The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. What?
Well, Lord Van Zieks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
Do you mean to tell me this has all been a grand waste of time?
'Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law.
Magnus McGillet.
Good grief, you've more to say to me, have ya?
Just one thing. A warning. This is far from over.
Well, something to be looking forward to then.
I hereby pronounce the defendant Mr. Magnus McGilded. Oh, this feels bad though. This feels very bad, guys. I think this is the first time I get a not guilty verdict in Ace Attorney and feel really bad about it. I can't believe it. This is an outrage. They should have examined the evidence. What are you talking about? Man's clear. He's innocent. With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty. Ostensibly a victory for us. Feels so bad. 18 February, 5:14 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. That certainly was a long trial. Yes, it was, for sure. Yes, it was. Your first ever trial on foreign soil and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Mr. Sato, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection.
Aye, that you did.
Mr. McGilded. And that girl is with him too.
Well, it seems the stories are true.
Oh, what stories?
About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely.
I'd heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I've you to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything.
What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there free man then?
I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning.
You're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Just water under the bridge.
Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared. But nothing's resolved.
There's only one thing that matters to me.
Oh,
They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and abstinent deed. 'Tis grand, is it not?
I suppose it is.
Now then, fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters into hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay.
It's not that funny.
So then, as we agreed aforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella.
Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much.
Arra be whist, you're a humble people, are you, from the east? Well, if you insist. But have this, still in all, you deserve a reward.
Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. Into the courtroom?
What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection.
Sorry, what inspection?
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
They're going to examine it again? Now?
Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing me best to help where I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you have a whale of a time while you're standing here in Great Britain.
I don't know what to make of this guy. And there he goes, a free man. Oh, I forgot she was here too.
Don't move.
Whereas I want to say, get a move on, she really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down?
You're a grown-up.
Sorry? And I ain't all grown-ups. Oh, there you are. Oh, okay.
Naughty, running off like that.
Is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now?
And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the try run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ha! Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me. Yeah.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
The inventor?
Well, normal smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree?
White, white, and more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could be at least a pretty color, I thought to myself. Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though, at all? I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst I was changing into a different omnibus and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon. What's it? What? I have no idea what this goal is talking about. Anyway, you're coming with me now, back to my laboratory. What? What for? To apologize, of course, silly. To my technician. What? You mean say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? I don't listen to no adults. Come along then, follow me. Fine, have it your way. Oh good, you see, I know you'd want to do the right thing in the end. I'm fairly sure that what she wants is not to get shot by that massive gun of yours. We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all the fouls. Who is that? She was a lively one. Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way too? Yes, you're right, but where to? Oh! We haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings. But at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck. Don't worry though, I have a plan. If the worst comes to the worst, I've heard a lovely park where we could spend the night. Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park. I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through. I'm not sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person's soul just as easily as an elderly one. Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable. Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room or mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead, just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned. And the case was far from over. Whew.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick! What the? How did this happen?
I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating. No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there. Oh. This can't be.
Well guys, that was a hell of a ride. But we actually came to the end. So that's it for this episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Tune in next time when we start the new episode, which I don't know the name of. See you then.